Well, to be honest with you, I didn't see this coming. Wizard of the Coast just canceled their latest Secret Lair super drop. That's right, the Monster Hunter Secret Lair, which we were set to receive, it's gone back to the drawing board. Let's talk about this situation, everything to benefit and to lose for Wizards of the Coast, and what this means for future Secret Lairs. And spoiler alert, there's some bad in here, but I think there's actually some big positives. Let's dive in. When it comes to Magic the Gathering announcements, it can be hard to tell what's real and what's fake. There's a lot of people posting a lot of things on the internet, so when in moments like this, I like to go straight to the source. We have here an article from Wizard of the Coast saying, back to the drawing board with Secret Lair times Monster Hunter. So the crossover is going back to the drawing board, and they get right to it. Let's cut to the chase. Monster Hunter Super Drop was revealed last week, and it fell short of expectations. And this is going to be a massive theme in this video. I'm not going to read this paragraph all the way through, but it's saying it fell short of expectations. They say they got Capcom's blessing and assistance to go back and help revisit this Secret Lair, reimagine this Secret Lair, and in my opinion, that is an important detail. But it's official. This Secret Lair will be going back to the drawing board. If you try to go to the announcement for that Secret Lair, oops, nothing is found. So we can pretty much say with 100% certainty that this is the case. Magic the Gathering Wizards of the Coast themselves is saying it's happening. And all in all, there's a couple big points I want to touch on when it comes to this situation. Now, if you like conversations like this and other Magic the Gathering inspired videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and like this video because it helps a small channel like mine more than you can possibly imagine. But a situation like this just, brings to mind one question right off the bat. Is this good or is this bad? And, well, it can be a bit of both. Magic the Gathering kind of prides itself on this perpetual hype cycle, this constant set of spoilers, this something new right around the corner every 2 seconds. And this super drop was definitely a part of that ecosystem to lean into getting players and fans this excited about something to then kind of pull the rug a little bit. I don't want to use pull the rug too strongly because it's not like super sudden really, but like to then remove that after some spoilers is a bit of a rocky road. It removes a bit of confidence that, in the things we see in their spoiler season. But overall, I would think this is a wild positive, and here's why. Universes Beyond does a couple things extremely well, and make no mistake, while this is a Secret Lair, this is Secret Lair Universes Beyond. This is a Monster Hunter themed Secret Lair. And one thing this does well is it brings fans of the IP either into Magic the Gathering for the first time or back into Magic the Gathering. Now, to do this, you have to greatly care for the IP that you're using. If you were to, let's say, really half-ass an IP, not care about the story, not care about the characters, and really make some loose tie and just try to slap some other characters on a Magic card, that community won't take to it. And frankly, the Magic the Gathering community won't either, because while Magic the Gathering is massive, there's tons of crossovers with these other IPs as far as fans and their interests are concerned. For that reason, we care that Wizards of the Coast cares about the care they take for the IP. This means that when you have a worse implementation of the IP, those ties are going to be stronger. Universes Beyond is not going to do what it does the best. And then I start to ask, what's the point? If it's not going to bring in outside people, if core old school Magic the Gathering fans don't want it, and it's not going to bring people back into Magic the Gathering because of a disrespect of the IP they're using, well, begs the question, why are we doing this? And I would say cancel it altogether. And while I might not be a fan of Universes Beyond, I understand its purpose. I understand its need to exist in 2025 because of the business model Wizards of the Coast has created, because of the situation they have put themselves in with profitability and shareholders. And hey, how do we grow when trading card games themselves aren't inherently the most popular thing in the world? But I do think that this positive is going to lead to some good change. You could convince me that with better care of the IP, fans have an opportunity to get more excited. You can tell me a world where people are going to be far more critical about this Secret Lair. And no, I don't mean those videos that come out and say, this is the value of this Secret Lair, it's only $3, when it's a small tangent, but those videos bother me a little bit because we always use the base cheapest value of the card that you could buy it for. But you're not buying this secret layer to get a copy of Fact or Fiction. You're not buying this secret layer to get a copy, your first copy of a commander you want to run as cheap as possible. You're buying this as a collector. You're buying secret layers to bling things out, to have special versions of things. If you're buying secret layer just for a base copy of the card, I would encourage you to visit your local game store. Go online. Heck, not a sponsor of the channel, but just friends. Visit MinMax Games. Go out there. Go to TCG Player. Heck, my buddy Louie at Kitchen Table TCG. Visit his store. Whatever it might be. There's no reason to buy these. Trying to get the cheapest version of the card. Does that mean it's not going to happen? No. But I digress. Those videos. I know that they always say that in those videos, but it always just feels like, yeah, you can say that, but then you still evaluate based on that principle that's just categorically false and not true, and it bothers me. But this is going to be an opportunity to maybe revisit the secret layer, to build stronger ties and make it a more popular and exciting secret layer for people who choose to enjoy secret layer. It's going to give it a chance to marinate a little bit, to see what worked and what didn't. And furthermore, you could also tell me a world where, because of this incident and the probably high profile nature of everything going on, heck, I don't know how often secret layers are canceled, but it hasn't happened in a memory that I can pull off the top of my head. I would think that maybe they print more of this. Maybe it's even more available. Maybe it's more widespread and less queues. Heck, maybe it gives them time to fix the queue problem that they never fixed, although that's a long shot. They seem to just be accepting of that, or accepting of whatever bugs and workaround the third party they implement has. But all in all, there's a lot of potential and possibility for this thing to come out extremely well done. But that means that there's also potential and possibility for this thing to crash and burn. Now, it gave me a lot of confidence that they said they had Capcom's blessing to go ahead and do this. They were working in conjunction with their partner to review this, and I beg the question, did Capcom take a look at this, scour the message boards, scour the Reddits, and say, you're not taking good care of our IP. You're not showing love that our IP deserves, and our fans are not excited. For that reason, we want to pull the plug. We do not like this partnership. And it also says to me, there's more Capcom partnerships in the pipeline. If we were doing this and Capcom was a one and done, you can tell me a world where Wizards of the Coast, Magic the Gathering doesn't go back to the design table. Heck, I bet a bunch of these cards are either printed or in the process of being printed. They're definitely designed. We've seen all the spoilers, but I would think that there's more Capcom secret layers in the pipeline. The only Capcom game that comes to mind off the top of my head is Resident Evil. I was a massive Resident Evil fan my whole life, and I don't know. I think I'd be pretty excited about like a Resident Evil 2, the original, or maybe even Resident Evil 4 crossover with Magic the Gathering. Give me a Leon and a Claire and a Nemesis, and I might be pretty stoked. And let's not get too far down that rabbit hole. I do think that there's a lot of outcomes that could come to this. We'll definitely follow along and subscribe if you want that conversation when it comes. But the underlying the secret sauce here, in my opinion, the tinfoil hat, if you will, is that they have a chance to maybe print a lot of this thing. Now, conversely, with the short timeline, we see what happens with Wizards of the Coast in short timelines, the Spider-Man redesign, etc. Maybe there's not going to be a lot of this. Heck, maybe it's going to be place an order and print it to demand because we can't possibly print enough of it before we want to go live in 2026. I'm excited to see what happens from this. I think it's good that Wizards of the Coast is like, hey, what we put out sucked with the fan base. Fan base didn't like it. We're going to revisit the drawing board. Now, even if that is a forced action from the IP partner, I think that's positive. I think that shows some growth, and it shows the ability to say, hey, if we're going to do Universes Beyond, if we live in a world where that must exist, we're going to do our best to do it right. And if you're going to do Universes Beyond, that might be pillar number one. If you're going to do it right. All in all, I can't wait to see. Let me know what you think is going to happen with this secret layer drop, and if we're going to see more of this in the near future, or if it's going to be super rare and we're never going to talk about it again. Let me know in the comments section below. There'll be a link to the Discord down there if you want to get deeper into the discussion. And thank you all so much for hanging out. Until next time, you guys know me. My name is Josh. I'll link a video that YouTube thinks you will like right over here, and we'll see you around. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Goodbye.